Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Leather Podcast presented by Golficity. Folks, this is episode 70, and no, Ronnie's not here, so I had to come up with a way to nail that opening intro, and I was coming into HQ today, and I was listening to Carton and Roberts on WFAN, the local tune here in New Jersey or your tri-state area, and I heard Carton give this electric intro. And I said, I have to nail that. I have to do that. So there we go. Welcome back, a la Craig Carton. Thank you for the inspiration. Folks, we have a packed day for you today. Ronnie's not in studio. As you can see, I'm going solo dolo. But I'm here. And we have a packed episode. It's PGA Championship week in Kiowa Island. We got some phone calls to get to. We even have a segment on how do you get better at golf? How does the everyday amateur golfer get better? So we're going to dive into that momentarily. But folks, let's first dive into some phone calls a la last week. Me and Ronnie were talking about course collapses. I had an incident on the course where a guy just collapsed in front of me and I didn't know what to do. So this call comes from Ryan Hickson. I'll let that play out now.
What's up, Ronnie from New Jersey, and Jeremy's producer. My name is Ryan Hickson, and just calling in, just listening to last week's episode. You guys were talking about how Jeremy had those two guys collapse on the course, and it reminded me of a story. My dad, uncle, and grandpa, we would make a tradition. We all go golfing on the 4th of July. I live out here in Utah, and Utah gets pretty hot in the summer. Yeah. It's a drier heat. And it was one of the hottest 4th of July, 100-plus degrees. They're playing a local course here. So it's the three of them, and then twosome in front of them. It was probably foursome because it was a holiday. But anyways, they're on the putting green. The guys in front of them, my dad and grandpa and uncle in the fairway. And all of a sudden, I see a guy collapse on the putting green. And they drive up there. This guy he's had a massive heart attack. So, my grandpa immediately starts CPR. My dad's calling obviously 911. Got him on the line, just talking him through the process of, CPR. Right. My grandpa's doing it for a solid, 20 minutes till the paramedics show up. And that guy ended up passing away. Wow. It's just a good reminder to be safe in the course, drink your water, stay hydrated. It gets super hot out there, so just drink your fluids. Pound the water, pound the Gatorade, whatever, and stay safe out there. Enjoying the content and keep it inside the leather, boys.
No, absolutely. Ryan Hickson, thanks, my man, for calling the call number. Folks, call in the call number. It's going to be right here on the screen below. We love hearing from you. We love hearing your input. You have any questions, you have any concerns, drop it in the voicemails, and we'll be sure to preview it on the show. But Ryan, my goodness. Passing out's one thing. I couldn't even deal with that. I couldn't even play after he passed out and collapsed. But dying and passing away on the course, that has to be crazy. I want to know, Ryan, are you playing at that course still? Because I know if it was me, I would not return to that course because I would have just that image in my head of this guy passing away on the golf course and going on from there, and I would be haunted from going back there. But man, is that crazy. Thanks again, Ryan Hickson. Call in. Appreciate the call, bud. So, folks, let's dive right into it. Segment number 2. I am one who can say that I got better at golf by doing this, and it's how does the everyday amateur golfer get better at golf? Whether it's going and meeting with an instructor for an hour, paying all that money, or getting some type of swing evaluation from like your local Golf Tech or your PGA Superstore, Golf Galaxy, or stores of that nature. Or is it just, self-taught? Are you jumping on YouTube? Are you jumping on Facebook, getting those instructional videos from people putting that type of content out? I know Golficity is going to be doing it. I know a lot of people do it already. Rick Shields, there's a lot of ways you can dive into and a lot of content channels you can dive into to get better at golf. I think for me, first, when I first started playing golf, I looked at PGA Tour players. I was every weekend on the couch watching TV, trying to figure out what they were doing that I wasn't doing. Now, whether it was takeaway or, is it something different? But then I realized that everyone has a different takeaway. Everyone has a different, backswing. But everything that's the same is the point of contact. If you see, all the tour players have the same point of contact, but they have different takeaways and different, backswings. So once I started looking and going through that and started picking out, different players' swings like Tiger, Rory, Brooks, obviously, a couple other guys like Rahm and Schauffele, I started to build my own type of swing. And after, months and months of looking at their swing, I started to now narrow it down to one player specifically. And that player for me was Sergio Garcia. Now, watching what he did, specifically at the PGA Championship that he won, or was it the Open Championship? I don't know. Drop in the comments if you know the answer to that one. But when he won that title, I was watching that on YouTube for about a couple of days, and it took me some time to evaluate it. But the reason that I went to go zone in on Sergio is because I was out on course one day. I forget where I was. And I was playing with this guy. Obviously, I was a single, and this guy was a single as well. So we're chatting, walking up like whatever fairway it was. And the guy goes to me and he's like, man, your swing looks exactly like Sergio Garcia. And that took me back a little bit because that wasn't who I was trying to emulate. For me, when it all started, I wanted to be just like Rory. I wanted his same swing path and his same swing takeaway. And once he said that, I started to dive back and circle back and started honing in on Sergio Garcia. And I said, man, maybe I do swing at him. So I put him and my swing side by side, and it did look similar. So ever since then, I've been trying to emulate what Sergio does out on the course and out with his swing. And that's how I self-taught, got better at golf and got my shots better and things of that nature. But nowadays it's different, man. You have different media outlets like YouTube. Frank and Mike do a ton of on-course instruction with different type of PGA pros and different type of course pros, and are doing a bunch of stuff that way. So maybe you're someone who benefits from YouTube and benefits from those instructional type of videos. Facebook now, you'll see different type of club pros doing some Facebook ads and doing some Facebook instruction as well. Golf.com, which was another big one during quarantine. Their big thing was, well, this is how you can get better, and this is the drills you can do at home. That's another good thing, another social media account. And now the biggest thing out there, it takes 60 seconds to get the point across, and that's TikTok. Every day, if you find the right instructor, right golf instructor on YouTube, or on TikTok, they're putting out a 30 to 60 second clip of a training technique that you can do. Whether it's at the range, on course, it's something simple. 60 seconds on TikTok. This is why TikTok is so amazing to me, is because you can get the point across so fast. So for someone like me who was a visual learner and was trying to get better on YouTube and watching other tour players, it took some time to actually see it and actually see swing by swing. But TikTok, it's really fast, man. It's 60 seconds, 30 seconds. You get your learning tips there, and then you go implement that on the course. It's so easy to, if you're on course, if you're on the range and you go, wait, what did he say? You go back on TikTok, you see what you liked, and then you just get it that way and you start working on it. But I think, social media and YouTube and TikTok and all those media content outlets are so big in today's game of how to get better at golf, and to me, I think it's hurting the instructors, right? Because you're now not going to pay the $100 or $150 an hour to go do some instruction with them. You're just going on TikTok. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Drop it in the comments below. How do you get better at golf? And if you do, who are some of the golfers or some of the content creators that you watch? Drop them in the comments below, and be sure to read them. And now let's get into the PGA Championship, folks. This is the PGA Championship at Kiawah Island in South Carolina. It's a place near and dear to my heart. I played there many times. I personally love it there. It's probably one of my top 3 courses ever played. It's going to be an interesting one. The field is stacked. I got the stats up here. The field is stacked. It's at Kiawah Island. But another big thing that I want to point out, our man Alex Beach. If you don't know who Alex Beach is, he was on one of the quarantine episodes. Me, Ronnie, and him dove into his life and his career, being on the PGA Championship squad and the PGA or Professional Pro Championship, whatever that is. He won 2 times in a row. So he's there again. He was there last year, and he was there the year before. However, last year, because there was COVID, he got the automatic bid to go play in last year's tournament. So, he was there last year. I remember watching him. He did some great things. Didn't make the weekend, but I do remember watching him. But this year, it's almost, man, it's another one of those tournaments just like the Masters that I didn't feel like it was coming. I don't know about anybody else out there, but I did not feel like this tournament was coming. Maybe it's because, we had a PGA Championship so quick, before. And the layover between the last PGA Championship and this one is so close, and it's not like a year span. It hasn't hit me yet. Will it hit me soon? I think so. Hopefully by Thursday. It hits me Thursday morning. I'll be tuned in watching on a telecast. But man, I'm excited for this one. We have a bunch of different names and a bunch of stacked field. And one thing specifically I like about this tournament is you have this team of 20. Now, what this team of 20 is a 20 club pro professionals, PGA certified professionals, that come and compete in the PGA Championship every year. Now, a la Alex Beach, he's someone who is a part of that team of 20, one of the 20 that is participating in the PGA Championship. How you get to the team of 20 is you have to go through a certain qualification, right? And it starts at the PGA Pro Championship that was held back 4 weeks ago, I think. I remember watching it as well. And you have to make it through there, and the top 20 scorers from that tournament make it onto the PGA Championship, and you qualify for the up and coming PGA Championship. Like I said, Alex Beach has done it 3 years in a row. But this is so neat for this tournament because you do have these club pros who don't get the opportunity to play every day. They are a little older, some of them. Some of them, are younger, trying to make a career path in the PGA Tour, and maybe this is some way they do it. I know for my man Alex Beach, he's going to try to, and he's been trying to for a long time. He has some Corn Ferry Tour status as well, and he's going through some swing paths and career paths to get him to where he needs to be, and I think this is step one of it, and I'm pulling for him to make the weekend, pulling for him to be there late on Sunday, and hopefully he can bring one back to the city of Westchester and the state of New York and just represent, dude. So we look forward to seeing Alex Beach this weekend, and we hope you do too. All right, now let's dive into the rest of the field. And going into this week, I think Rory McIlroy has to be the heavy favorite, and there's been a lot of talk and buzz around Rory because the last time he played at Kiowa Island, he beat the field by 8 strokes. 8 strokes, folks. That's a lot of strokes for a major. So I think he's the highly rated, highly anticipated, highly favorited golfer this week to move on and be holding up the Wanamaker Trophy on Sunday late. But that's what scares me is that buzz. We have some other notables in the field. Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, obviously, which was your last year's winner, right? He's at 28 to 1, so that's 2,800 value, right? That would be the long shot. That's like Ronnie's favorite. He loves coming back and picking the long shots and picking the previous winner just because. Another notable, Dustin Johnson, 17 to 1. They get good value there. Big name we have to watch this week, Jordan Spieth, 14 to 1. He's almost a lock for a top 15, not even a top 10 finish, I think, at Kiowa Island. He's playing such great golf. He was in contention this past weekend at AT&T Byron Nelson. And I think we're going to see some really good golf from Jordan Spieth yet again for many consecutive weekends before. However, I do think Jordan Spieth has made the turn, made the curve, and he's playing good golf again, great golf at that. And I think that's another name we have to watch. He's probably one of the hottest players on tour, if not the hottest players on tour as of yet. And I think a value at 14 to 1 is is high for him, but I think it can be something that can be a value if you're trying to lock in a top 15, a top 10 bet. Another notable for me, I think I'm going to pick this guy. Sam Burns has been playing incredibly hot golf. 2 weeks ago he won, or 3 weeks ago he won at whatever tournament it was, and then yesterday, or when you're seeing this is Thursday, but yesterday was the final round at AT&T Byron Nelson. He was yet again a T2 finish at the AT&T Byron Nelson in Texas, and he was up there again for whatever consecutive week it was. But he probably is another hot guy that I would love to monitor and love to watch, and he's at 45 to 1. So that's going to be my pick for the PGA Championship is Sam Burns to win. I'll say it right now on the show. If he does win, revert back to this show, and you'll know that I said that. But Sam Burns, 45 to 1 has to be my pick for the PGA Championship. But that's my pick, folks. Sam Burns. Well, we want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments below. Let us know who is the winner of the 2021 PGA Championship. Drop in the comments below. And, folks, just like we did for the Masters, we are going to have an ITL action segment. Again, just like we did for the Masters. So if you're someone who participated in the Masters event where we did a bunch of bets and a bunch of different over-unders, be sure to look out for that again this week. I'll go through it real quick. Pick 3 golfers to finish. Okay? First, second, third, win, place, show, just like the horse betting. Pick 3 golfers to finish. If you pick the first place winner, 5 points. If you pick second place correctly, that's 3 points. If you pick third place correctly, that's 2 points. Now we're going to go through a bunch of over-unders. They're going to be at 2 points each for the field. Total Eagles on the weekend, plus or minus 3.5. So if it's plus, 4 Eagles, win. And you say plus, you win. If you say minus and it's under, so that's 3 Eagles, you win. Lowest 18-hole score, plus or minus 65.5. I'm just going to keep the same numbers for last week. So this is lowest 18-hole score throughout the whole weekend. If someone shoots, 64 on Sunday, count it, you win. It's at 65.5. Lowest 72-hole score. Obviously, it's going to be the winner. So the lowest 72-hole score, plus or minus 275.5. Okay, 275.5. Top driving distance average, plus or minus 320.5. I think that's a gettable number this week. Conditions are going to be hot. They're going to be fast. They're going to be running. Everything's going to be running. Total putts, 72 holes. So total putts for the whole weekend, plus or minus 106.5 putts. So it's plus or minus 106.5 putts for the weekend. Does he do it? Does anybody do it? Yes or no? Now, this doesn't have to be. You don't have to be a specific player for these over-unders. You just have to choose plus or minus yes or no. And then if we have a tiebreaker, obviously we're going to go to the winning score. So you can drop the winning score down there. If that hits and you end up tying, you'll get the winner. So again, folks, that will be in the description below. Make sure you check that out. We'll put together a prize package like we did for the last winner. And by the way, last winner, I think it was Brandon Beebe. We got a package set up for you for training aid. So make sure you reach out to us if you haven't already, and we'll get your info and we'll send you out your training aid and your training package. But that's all we have for this week, folks. I'm sorry Ronnie was not here. I may have been rumbling over my words again, but this probably has to be the hardest thing I've done in a while on this show, doing it by myself without Ronnie, because he is evidently the life of the show and he brings all the energy. I just wanted to come through you. We're trying to stay consistent. I want to touch on some phone calls. Wanted to touch on the PGA Championship. Our man Alex Beach is there again. And folks, we thank you for tuning in, being a longtime listener. Episode 70. Done.